right, so this is mobility flow number 2. And what we're gonna start this one off with a hip flexor release. Okay, so most of the time, like I said, when you're sitting around, whether you get up, you're sitting around, you're sitting in the car all day, you're stressed out, like, not only, so a lot of people say hip flexors get tight, they actually don't even activate right. So we're gonna use breathing and tension to just open them up and release them. So watch, I'm gonna stand in this nice and tall position, in a 90-90 position. You can see this. I'm gonna actually open up my back foot. You can do this, I'm gonna open it up. If you have that mobility, great. From here, before I'm gonna start pushing my foot into the ground as hard as I can. So when I do that, when I push my foot into the ground, my glutes activate like crazy, right? So I'm gonna feel that front side stretching open already, okay? From here, I'm gonna stay nice and tall, and I'm also gonna start pushing my quad. So I'm gonna push my foot into the ground. I'm pulling this front heel back, like pushing it back, trying to rip that ground. And I'm also pushing my hands into my quad. So now I have tension everywhere, and it's really opening up this front side. You guys are gonna count down and push as hard as you can for about 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and now exhale. And as you exhale, I'm gonna lean forward and open this up, right? And you'll have way more range of motion. And notice I'm not leaning back, I'm going forward with them, just having that hip open up as much as I can. I'd switch sides, I do the same thing on the other side. So push my foot into the ground. I call shoelaces into the ground. I'm gonna pull my heel back. So now it's really trying to rip those hips apart. Push the hand down, count down. So imagine we already counted down like 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and let it open up, sink in. Feels great, okay? Number 2, we're gonna do the same thing, but now we're gonna do this for the adductors. So now watch. That position, I'm just moving the foot and aligning it, my knee with the back of my heel. And I'm gonna open up, like so, open up my adductors, right? I even like to kind of get this knee pushed back so I feel this groin opening up. I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna push the shoelace into the ground. I'm gonna push my hand down into my quad. I'm gonna open everything up here, squeeze my glutes, count down, and 3, 2, 1, and knees driving that way, opening up the groin area, right? And we do the same thing on this other side, okay? So I'm not gonna show you guys, but obviously the same thing. Anywhere from 6 to 10 seconds, creating that tension, breathe out, open everything up, okay? Now from there, what we're gonna go into is a 90-90 position. And this is a great position for doing a lot of different things, okay? But we love to, like, this is one of the best exercises for healthy hips. So I have a 90-degree angle here, and I have a 90-degree angle in the back. I'm gonna turn my belly button towards my knee. This is very important. Imagine the middle of my sternum and my belly button, and they're both turning towards the knee, okay? From there, I'm going to think about pushing my butt back like I'm doing a deadlift. So my chest is nice and tall. Most of you might have to have support, which is fine. And I'm gonna push my butt back. So imagine like, kind of like a bow and arrow here, right? Like knees pushing forward, butts pushing back, chest, and I'm gonna keep my low back flat. I'm pulling myself, like I'm actively pulling myself down to that knee, pull, 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 pull. As much as I can, I'm trying to get my chest to my knee and the knee to my chest. So it's two-way, I'm trying to close that book. Okay, as I get there, I hang out there for a second. Now I'm gonna push the ground away and push myself back up. Notice still, belly button, sternum. And again, pull, 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 knee to the chest, chest to knee, knee to the chest, chest to knee. And push. Okay, so we got that position. We're gonna do 6 reps. Okay, we're gonna do 6 reps in that position. And then we're gonna switch up. So imagine that like I'm staying nice and tall and I'm switching up into this other 90-90 position. Okay, and from that position, I'm gonna do the same thing. I would do 6 repetitions of that. Okay, so we got this 90-90, pulling ourselves, and then pulling ourselves, so pulling ourselves down to the knee, and then pushing ourselves out of that, okay? Now, from here, we're gonna go sit back into our butt cheek, kind of sit, if we can sit on our calves and have that mobility. And keeping our hands up here, what we're gonna end up doing is threading the needle. So I'm gonna pull through and try to get my shoulder down to the ground or close to it, get my hand behind my back, and then try to open up that shoulder to the ceiling. And I'm looking up at the ceiling with it. Come back down and open up. You might not get a lot of range of motion here. Right, so you might not get a lot of range of motion, but you want to control, hold that top position, breathe out. So it's important that when I rotate, breathe out, then come back. Same thing, we're going to do 6 per side. Okay? From that 6 per side position, we're now going to get into a squat to stand. Now, so watch. I'm going to start in the top of the squat, and I'm going to hook my feet. This is important, okay? Hooking your feet, meaning I'm going to grab down and literally grab my toes. Now, if you have tight hamstrings, right, you're going to bend your knees a little bit. If you can lock them out, then just lock them out, right? But I'm going to bend my knees here at the start, and I'm going to pull on my toes, and I'll pull myself down into the squat to stand position. Notice, I'm pulling myself, I'm still pulling on my toes. I'm going to push my knees out, and I'm going to get tall, right? So this really stretches my groin area. From here, I'm going to keep one of these hands hooked. Look, open up, other side. Look and open up, okay? Now, once I've done each side, now I'm going to come back up, get that stretch in the hamstrings, and then repeat, pull myself down, nice and tall. Key is not to see how I'm like collapsing here. Push my shoulders out, push my elbows out, same thing. Breathe out, and repeat. So we do that for 6 repetitions also, okay? After we've done that, we're gonna do a hinge position. So imagine an RDL. So we're gonna do that RDL. We're gonna hinge back into this position. Okay, we're gonna feel our hamstrings like we're doing a Romanian deadlift. And I'm gonna hook my hands into my knee. So I'm pushing my hand into my knee. I'm not letting my knee give out. And we're just gonna start with one side. Now watch. Imagine that there's a laser on my sternum. I'm gonna open up and try to rotate that as far up as I can and then reach. What's important is do not do this, right? Now my shoulder's moving, but my sternum is not. So my sternum has to move as much as possible and reach out. Come back down. Even better is usually just driving with the elbow. It keeps you more honest. And we're gonna go 6 per side. The key is not to move your hips left to right. They stay exactly where they're at. And then we're gonna rotate each of those 6 per side. From there, we're gonna finish off with a glute activation drill. So we're just gonna go into our bridge position. And we're gonna bring our glutes up. So we're gonna drive up, push our elbows into the ground, drive through, squeeze our butts as much as we possibly can. And we're gonna hold for 10 seconds. Imagine somebody's pushing your knees in, but you're actually pushing them out a little bit, right? So you hold for 10, try to crack a walnut with your butt cheeks, and come back down. Pause for 3 seconds, and drive back up again. Breathe out, and try to crack that walnut with your butt cheeks, pushing these out a little bit. Another 10 seconds, and we're gonna do that for 3 sets of 10 seconds. Okay, so that is your mobility / stability number 2, okay? And you're gonna be doing that for 10 days with intent, once again, putting a timer on your clock for the warm-up. 6 to 10 minutes, preferably closer to 10. Like I said, if you can do it for 8 to 10, you're gonna start feeling really good. On the days you're not training, this can be your daily ritual, right? Put it to work, put it to play, see how you feel.